Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, it's my honor to be able to present this amendment number 1 to you. This is a bill about things that are temporarily attached to cars and the predatory environment that comes out of some of those temporarily attached things. For 3 years, I've been talking to many of you individually about booting of cars. This is a bill that would regulate, not ban, booting of cars. The 2 basic regulations are already in code. They are in the towing section. If you flip to page 3, I just want to show you the meat of this bill. Apart from putting it under the Department of Public Safety, starting at line 60, you see existing language in the code for towing companies. Those towing regulations are you can't sit around and monitor lots. Can you imagine if somebody could just wait for you to walk into a store and tow your car? Same thing with booting. That's where a lot of the predatory behavior comes from. And secondly, no kickbacks. Right now, booting companies are paying up to half their boot, half their fee to property owners as kickbacks, and that has caused a lot of predatory activity. Mr. President, I'm just grateful for an opportunity to present this amendment. Good legislation. I want to thank my colleagues for the support that you are providing. The Senator from the 56 has been instrumental in working with me on this issue, and happy to yield for any questions.
You do have a couple questions, Senator. Recognize the Senator from the 52nd.
Thank you. Does the senator yield?
I do, for the Senator from the 52nd.
You know, a few years ago, your seatmate had a booting bill, and I saw he had signed on this. Are you doing this on behalf of the senator of the 16th?
He is certainly a willing party in this legislation. Thank you.
Recognize the Senator from the 56.
Thank you, Mr. President. Does the senator yield?
I do.
Senator, isn't it true that just outside this Capitol, not too many years ago, during Firefighter Day, one of my fire chiefs were booted?
Correct, and part of that is because the booters do not exercise the amount of judgment that is appropriate. They cannot stand in as general agents of property. And so, yes, it is true that that happened.
And Senator, another question, isn't it true that there have been many, many TV stories, both local and national, as well as many write-ups and publications about the challenges that we are not addressing here in Georgia on this issue?
That's correct, and I have to say that public safety is actually the reason why a lot of states and cities restrict it nationwide, because it wastes 911 resources. We could go on and on. I will say the House sponsors are not only okay with this amendment, they welcome it. They see this as our opportunity, really our one shot for probably a few years to get a reasonable basic regulation done. Representative really couldn't be here, but I invited him and I was going to point to him in the back of the room. I would really appreciate your favorable consideration on both the amendment and the underlying bill. Thank you so much, Mr. President.
The Senator has yielded.